Hello one and all, and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to talk about my thoughts on 8th as is progressing. Now at the time of filming, the last codex we got was Codex Adeptus Astartes Dark Angels. I haven't actually been through the Dark Angel one yet. The last one I've been through was the Blood Angel one. I'm quite happy with how the Blood Angels turned out, honestly. They're probably the best Marine Codex at the moment, barring, I don't know, the Dark Angels, but like as I said, I honestly can't tell you too much about them. I haven't been through the Codex with a fine-tooth comb. But yes, my thoughts about 8th as it's progressing. The codexes themselves I'm quite happy with. Besides maybe the Grey Knight one, it's clearly the most underpowered, the least fluffy due to all of the psychic power constraints now in 8th edition. But besides that, all the codex are actually quite fair. But that brings me on to my next point, which is chapter approved. Now, I've been through chapter approved, and honestly, I am not too happy with it. And this is nothing against Games Workshop, nothing against chapter approved itself. Honestly, what most upsets me about chapter approved is that all of these big fancy codecs that I've bought till now are pretty much obsolete. And that's actually kind of annoying, to be honest. Now, I'm not that much of a match play player, as you guys know. Well, tournament player, you have to be a match player if you want to actually get some games into your local club and all that. But let me get back to 7th. Why 7th was so bloody annoying was the bloat of books that you needed to actually get a game in. You needed your rule book, you needed your codex, there was probably a codex supplement, and maybe some game rules, like if you're playing Stronghold Assault and all of that. Now, 8th, when it came out, they promised us no bloat whatsoever. So we had the rule book or a couple of pages of rules, depending which one you preferred, and your codex, which was fine, honestly. Now, as things progressed, we got more and more codexes out. There's slowly been a little bit of a power creep. It started mostly with Astra Militarum, which kind of sucked. But yeah, now all the codexes coming out have this sort of little creep built into it. And chapter approved is there to level out the playing field a little bit. But now what is really annoying is I have to take my codex with, I have to take my rulebook with, I have to take chapter approved with, I need to have my FAQs, and you always need to check if you have the latest edition of the FAQs because they're coming out all the time. And with GW saying they want to release chapter approved once a year with some other extra FAQ updates at least twice a year, honestly it's becoming really tedious trying to keep track of what is actually what in the game. Which unit has what stats, which unit has what points values, and all of that. Now, I would understand in chapter approved if they told us at least which units didn't have any sort of points changes, or even better, to put the non-change points in chapter approved, so I wouldn't have to look back and forth every single time. Now, I have quite a few armies, and honestly it's becoming really tedious trying to just get an army list together, and it's now starting to affect my games. It's far too much accounting for what is essentially a game. Now, yes, you could turn it around and say this is done to keep things fair, to keep things balanced, and all of that, and yes, I agree. It's great to keep things balanced, keep things fair. But, and there's a huge but here, it's just all that bloat that we had in 7th is pretty much there again, except now it's becoming even more tedious to keep track of stuff. At least in 7th you had your codex and your points didn't change for, well, the rest of the edition. Now you have to constantly keep track of points, and as new codexes come out, some things are overwritten, some are rewritten. You also have to keep track of which codex came out before which chapter approved. So now the Space Marine Codex has changes in chapter approved, while the Blood Angels one does not use the chapter approved changes. It's already built in. So as a new player coming in, they'll probably go and buy the Codex and start using it, and people are going to start complaining once they go to the club. They'll be like, no, your points values are different, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? It's here in my Codex. No, you have to get it chapter approved. So I understand why they did it. I honestly do, but I think it was very poorly executed this time around. Hopefully for the next one, at least what they should do is keep even the unchanged points in chapter approved. So you can buy your codex for the rules and all of that, but then do not look at the codex when it comes to actually putting your army together with regards to points. Just look at chapter approved. I think it might simplify things a lot more. Otherwise, though, everything else is cool, except perhaps let me not get started on the actual fluff changes and all of that, and the Primarchs coming back and so forth. I'll leave that for another video. Anyways, what are your thoughts on chapter approved? What are your thoughts on the new codexes coming out? Are you finding it easy to put an army together? Are you finding it difficult? Let me know. I mean, I'm struggling. Maybe you can give me some pointers. Anyways, cheers. I hope you subscribe and maybe share this video with a couple of people you know. Support us. That's only a click away. And yeah, until next time in the next video, cheers.